for freedom, for victory in this the mighty land. I am that I am, and you are too. So who is all we are? Well, we are will discover then that which brings to all to bear the fruit of that which I am. How be you, beloved ones? Let us say that we are most pleased that you would give yourselves to this day, for it will be a pretty day, and it may not have some pretty moments, because we're going to do some mighty work upon that which is the limited self, creating a freeing and a clearing for all that which is our truth to be shining forever clearer to each of us and to all. So I ask you this question to contemplate as we begin this day. Do you wish for a new beginning out of the fear and the anguish of what might have preceded this new beginning? Or do you wish for a new beginning out of the sense of innocence and exploration and grand adventure? And we know that your intention may be for that latter, but we know that it includes all the human aspect of emotion and of thought and of circumstances. So I will speak for all that are gathered here with you today in this now moment that there can be and shall be ever so present for you now in this breath. All of your team of support from the angelic and ascended realms, all of your personal team of guidance that your soul has brought forth into this embodiment to support you, to remind you, and to kick you where you need to be kicked, to stay on the purpose that your soul had planned for this excursion. We know that for you to breathe that in now, some familiar, some maybe not always familiar to you. You have this team of support. Aside from the full realm of ascended masters and the archangels, you have your personal soul group of support that you chose, you created with one another to be able to manifest all that would be your soul's intention for this life embodiment. So if you haven't gotten acquainted with these souls in particular, just say hello anyway now and welcome them. They really haven't gone anywhere, that you have to welcome them. They're with you always. But we call in, as it was said, presence, so that we acknowledge and open ourselves to the expansion of all those gifts and all those presences of perfection. For your individuation of the I am presence is unique to who you experience yourself now and in other dimensions. And yet all is connected as one. Would you mind? Would you mind at all if you added onto that team what we laughingly listen to Dawn call her SWAT angels, like a SWAT team, for when things are really dire or in extreme situations? Yeah, call upon that which is everything you could possibly connect with in order to realign and realize who you are and why you are. But the why is a shift every moment. But it is in congruence to your intention for that which you make now, or for your life intention. It is in congruence with that which is your highest value you hold in any moment. That is a conscious conversation to have, isn't it? Your values. Some of you have had this conversation with us. Some of you have had it with another realms of your thoughts and your connections. The bottom line I'll say about values is, you can tell me what you think you value most in life, and I would hold that for you. But the reality for you, it would be Whatever you are experiencing life is a reflection of what you're holding as a value in your life. Ah, think about that for just a breath. And now another. For that would say to you, rather than be thinking, why did I create this? Or why did this happen? Or why isn't this going my way? Or why do I have this ongoing lesson? All the ways you like to use your mental self to chastise yourself or to criticize yourself or to somehow think that that will drive the answers to you. Consider that you just simply accepted, looking at what is in your reality now, what you have manifested, what seems to be showing up, all of that reflects, especially how you are relating to it in your emotional body and your mental body, all of that will reflect what is really the value you're holding for that to manifest. So it's important that we look at the values so that we do some of that violet flame work with that as well. You understand that the values, if you are having a sense of challenge with your prosperity and your financial abundance, your value isn't necessarily clear to be prosperous, abundant, and ever free in the flowing of that which you are seeking. The value is in the struggle, or the value may be in the payment of your debt to yourself and to others, to God. I came here in this life to clear up all my soul debt, karma, blah, 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 we say. If you hold that as true and as value, you may find yourself never ending the experience of that kind of karma biting you in your where. So we may or may not speak more of this as we go forward in these moments ahead, but we wanted to lay a certain piece of it before you so that you can be willing to have honesty and clarity and sincerity about all of that. I like the itties. Honesty, clarity, sincerity, humility, tranquility, itty bitty. Well, this new beginning thing, it's every day, right? It's not a new beginning like suddenly everything is new, or is it? Or is it? Except the little bits that you notice, the little bits of newness that you have presented to you, and have a broad view of all of it and see with new eyes. That's how you'll notice. Seeing everything as new is the part of you that has been awakened. And you're no longer witnessing based on a belief about what should and shouldn't be present to you. A new beginning, a new vision of what's going on will be with you. Claim that you now can see. You're willing to see. As we mentioned to someone recently, and all of you have heard this idea before many times, that when you are in a new vehicle of a certain color, suddenly all kinds of vehicles in that color show up all around you. You notice it. Did everybody go out and get a new one? No, but your eyes are now opened because you have been witness to a certain frequency, and now your awareness is seeking that frequency. Imagine that's something so simple to understand, at least from a day-to-day human view of life. But what if that is the way it always is for everything? That what you start to see around you everywhere will be your focus until you make a new, clear intention and a willingness to see it in a new way. I think this is time for a song. Mr. Darrell.
Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope.
Better.
I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. Think I finally learned, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before, broken heart and slamming door. I'll be alright, yes I will, once more, just as I did back then. I'm gonna rise again, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. So bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I know it's gonna be everything new.
About that. Everything new. What if everything was new? Are you excited about that? Or is there a little bit of fear about what might have changed or let you have had to let go in order for it to all be new? Hmm. Perhaps, perhaps some of that. What if it's all new, but it's all the same? What if everything is new and nothing has changed? That's an interesting word, change. It's used oftentimes as another synonym of transition or transformation. In some cases, people will use it in reference to transmutation. But you remember the old joke, Some of you have heard this before about the German army and the trenches of war. And the sergeant said to his troops, "I have good news, everyone. Today we have a change. Today we have a change in underwear. Finally." And the group is shouting, "Yay, joy, joy, yay, it's about time." And he says, "Hans, you change with Fritz. Fritz, you change with Sherman. Sherman, you change with Otis." You see? Change. What does that really mean? It is all that you can do to let yourself move from one view, one experience into another potential. To change is more appropriate in referencing moving a light bulb from its socket and putting a new one in place, right? You change the bulb. Shift your perspective, change your perspective, indeed. Shift how you experience your experience. But nothing really changes. Even when transmutation occurs, there is an opportunity for that which has been and no longer is present to the fullest potential for expansion, that will be consumed and will be reignited as something that it has always been, but now is realigned to a fuller potential, its fuller purpose of presence. So everything new, new beginnings. New beginnings implies in the human cycles, as there has to be an ending for a beginning. A door closes, another opens, blah, blah, blah. I say blah, not because there's a boringness to it. It's just common thought. What if for a new beginning, you don't have to end, you just have to allow expansion, transmutation to occur? It appears to end. Something appears to end. Human life often appears to end. It dies. And eventually, what was a form becomes dust. It is changed. It is transmuted to something which became of its physical self, another part of its physical self. The soul, the energy, the vibration of what held the body in place, what kept the human body in its life in form, that's just moved now to a more freer, expanded awareness of state, at least in the potential of it. So to have everything new, new beginnings for all, would that mean you have to find a way to get complete and end whatever the thoughts, feelings, cycles, and experiences have been? You need to be, I'll capitalize the word complete with it. The ending is the illusion. The completeness is the willingness for it to be new and expanded into its highest form, or formless. Breathe. What if you're getting used to life makes things a little easier because you are in the habit of life to be new and expanded into its highest form, or formless? Breathe. What if you're getting used to life makes things a little easier because you are in the habit of life, and yet what if that is holding you back from experiencing new life? So you have to be uncomfortable to start or create a new life. Well, you have to maybe be uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be painful, struggling, or bad or negative. Uncomfortable is can be an exciting thing of movement. So those of you who do exercises with the body will know that the body, as it is shifting the muscular shape, the flow of the blood and circulation and so forth, your body will feel the discomfort of that shifting. And for most people, when they feel that, they feel an assurance that it's good, that it is moving into something new, and it is feeling exciting that you get to have that newness. After a moment of complaint about I overdid it or whatever is the thought, right? The discomfort isn't permanent. You know that in some of those kinds of experiences. And the discomfort is a temporary experience of the transition itself. So we don't predict you have to be uncomfortable, but that's not a bad thing. It can be a symbol of the transformation process itself, the shifting process itself, the recreating into newness. It's a symbol of that. So some of that, which when we say let go, let go, let go, part of the human ego mind starts to call back, yeah, but I might need that, right? When we say let go of some of the stuff, it is that mental process that everyone seems to go through at least a little bit. Says, yeah, but I might need that someday. Or what if? That's a beautiful piece of clothing. What if I actually grow into it? Or what if I can wear it again? It might be in 2 years. You understand, the human mind plays in the game of the what if, and can I just put this in storage? A mental idea, a physical object, however that is. You sometimes want to put it in storage so that you haven't permanently let go of it, lost it in a sense. Well, we have no disagreement with the idea of putting things in storage, mentally and emotionally, as long as you're conscious that that's what you're doing and what that's doing to your bodies. There's a catch always. So you have to be conscious of it. Most of that storage happens in a unconscious or less than fully conscious way, mentally speaking, like suppression of an idea or an energy that you're not comfortable with, you don't like. You just shift it, even though you haven't really shifted much. You just, well, I'm not going to think about that now. I'll worry about that tomorrow. Sort of gone with the wind, right? So when you have emotional experiences that you're not sure what to do with, oftentimes you do one of these kind of breaths. Thinking you're letting go with that breath, but oftentimes that breath, instead of a flow, is a because you're stuffing down all that might be represented in that thought or that feeling, and you're just going to get on. Maybe you've had a moment when you felt tears coming on in an seemingly inappropriate time. You swallow them back and you have a kind of a breath to control your emotions, to shut that down. And you do that out of training in mentally and emotional training, out of a habit oftentimes, suppress all that. The good news is it's never really gone. It's always going to be bubbling up somewhere for you to embrace, right? The not so good news is that the more you stuff down and don't allow for the flow, for a new beginning, to a letting go happening, you might present your body's emotional, mental, and physical body with trauma that sort of builds up as disease or builds up as disconnect to other potentials. So have you suppressed stuff going on? These last year, we'll call it a year, 7, 8 months, these last number of months and years, maybe you have felt emotional, mental, spiritual overwhelm, and you've done all that you know to do to cope with that overwhelm. And some of that has been to suppress it so that you can get on and focus that you have to do. Well, I can't be in this now. I've got to work. So what do you do to suppress? Have a smoke, have a drink, have a breath, have a distraction, have some other kind of playfulness, like what do they call games that you might do? Online games. You eat. You do things that suppress the emotional and mental weariness. Not you. I'm not pointing to any one of you. I'm pointing to the you of humanity, right? That's not a bad habit. It is one that you could look at finding room to trust yourself, to feel everything you feel, and to let all that heal. How many of you feel like you do a very deep, connected breath throughout your day? That connected breath, which is almost imperceptible stopping between the in and the out. Very protracted. Rather than all breath, when conscious, has a unique and blessed purpose for you. So we're not going to say there's only one way to breathe, but how many of you put your full awareness to connect that breath deeply throughout your day? Because that's a good practice to bring out, bring up, bring to your awareness feelings, thoughts, energies that have been suppressed, because now they become awake in you. Do you know that if you are sleeping in your bed and you put your arm under your head or under the pillow, and you might wake up with a sense of tingling in your hand, right? You've cut off some circulation and the nerve is not knowing what to do in your body, and you have ways in which you wake that back up, right? You move, flex it, you move it, you shake it, you slap it, you just trust that it will gain its, quote, normalcy again, right? But when you breathe, all those kind of things that have been slept on and gotten out of whack and kinked somewhere in your beingness are going to suddenly become brought into the forefront of consciousness. They are stirred up, circulated again. What a grand opportunity that you get to not look for the stuff, but just be open, right? Just be open. You don't have to dig mentally and emotionally with your breath or any other tool to find all your stuff, because it's going to show up one way or another. It will. So grand. Grand, grand, grand. New beginnings. New life. Everything new. So your opportunity, should you choose to accept, is that as you open up for newness, new beginnings, you embrace the integration of all of life. So you don't trade off one thing for another. You find a way that you let it be whole. So what if something that you thought was a negative, a bad, an uncomfortable, unpleasant situation in your life, in your body, in your mind, in your world, what if all of that was good? Meaning that instead of judging it or declaring it, you have to change it, get rid of it. You find a way to allow your being to re-invite it in, to integrate it into your wholeness of being. That may mean it is new. It is no longer held in the concepts of its discomfort, wrongness, etc., but it becomes perfectly okay. That instead of measuring all of your life experiences as positive, negative, good and bad, right and wrong, you just let it all be. Well, that's just not how the human world works. Oh, it doesn't? Why? Why is it working like that? Why is your human life measured on a scale from 0 to 10, or worse than 0, positive, negative, good, bad? Don't tell me it's yin yang. It's not. That's not what that means. Yin yang is a unification of distinctions, not separation. So far the things I've spoken are a renewal of things that most of you have heard before. And if not, then aha, now I have something new to chew on. Oh, I have heard it before, but I'm hearing it new. So be it. Well, me, myself, and I, the lovely Countess Saint Germain, has now an exit to make from the illusion of being present to you in a form. And we allow for you to have an experience with another aspect of the divine that you are. So I say, Namaste.